Hello, book lovers, and welcome to Book Talk Podcast. My name is Claire Harris, and today I'm talking to award-winning author Golam Maula. Golam is the author of two books so far, the first being Darkness Turns to Dawn, Turns to Daylight. However, today we will be talking about his award-winning novel, A Dangerous Mind, Consciousness Belongs to God. They say what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and they can be right. John Locke was an ordinary man until he was left for dead at the bottom of a stagnant canal. Put in an induced coma, doctors worked to save his life using revolutionary medical therapies. And as John finally awakes to a room full of people he no longer recognizes, it soon becomes apparent things have changed, or at least John's mind has changed, and it starts to develop in incredible and terrifying ways. Gosh, that sounds really interesting. Let's find out some more. Hello, Golan. First of all, welcome and thank you for coming back to talk to me on Book Talk Podcast.
Hi, Claire. Nice to
Hi,
meet you again.
thank you. The full title of the novel is A Dangerous Mind, Consciousness Belongs to God. Please explain Consciousness Belongs to God to me.
A dangerous mind means that if you have a great deal of knowledge, it can potentially be harmful for you. There are some famous examples that you might be familiar with as a genius. You would also notice they have some form of disability. However, science has not found where and how genius is formed in our brain. But in a Muslim world, we understand the knowledge is knowledge of God. If you will remember, we often use the term God knows. Why? Because because he has the secret to our world or universe. There is another form of genius, which is a criminal mind. This comes from our frontal lobe, which gives us creative ideas that leads to criminal activities. John experienced this later in his life. Consciousness belongs to God. This is very interesting concept. It was never introduced into the West, but throughout the centuries, we have been told that our knowledge is not our own. It has been given to us when we are awakened. This is widely known as the third eye.
So here we have John Locke, a man left at the bottom of a stagnant canal. After waking from an induced coma, he no longer recognizes anyone. So do you go into John's character prior to the discovery of his body in the canal, or do we just get to know the new man, as it were?
Claire, you will have the opportunity to discover the two sides of John's absence in the book. Um, the one before and one after.
Right.
You can see the simplicity and the kind heart that he was, and a new, improved version of him. As you read the chapter, you can see how his mind changed and developed. Grief is a terrible experience for male or female,
Hmm.
but uh, sometimes you forget. Sometimes you forget what a man feels. I I I gave those experience in a book for women to remember or focus on the feeling of a man as well. The two of us are human, not just one of us, but we give more importance to a woman's feeling than our man.
How much research did you have to do with regards to John's medical procedures, therapies, and recovery experiences, or do you write from first-hand experience?
A lot of research has been done on the book, his medical history, his therapy, his mental health, and understanding of his struggle. To give the reader a sense of worth and message, I entrusted Anjali with a task of watching over John's failure. Trust the reader may understand that we are no one without assistance of another.
Throughout John's experiences, his one constant is Anjali, a beautiful, devout Hindu. She stays with him through everything, for she has found a partner for life, her partner through the ages, her Ardhangini. I have to ask, what is an Ardhangini? And have I said it correctly?
That's okay. That's no problem. Adhangini stands for soulmate.
Ah,
Every culture holds this belief, whether you are a Muslim, Christian, Jew, or Hindu. We
yeah.
often forget our body is only a vessel. We die, we buried, and are forgotten. But it is our soul that remains behind and alive. We often forget when we are hurt. We use the word I feel or my soul is hurt. What do we mean by that? When when we believe there is no soulmate, our life gives us an experience that gives us a different view of life. Our experience allows us to grow and learn from life. Love is love is the only notion of a word that has full significance of life. Love has hate, betrayal, truth, intoxication, tears, happiness, sadness, etc. Therefore, when you find true love, it is known by the name of enlightenment.
I love that. I absolutely love that. So tell me about Anjali. We know she's beautiful and a devout Hindu, but what kind of woman is she?
Anjali is beautiful, something that a man sees in a woman, but the woman tends to forget. It is the personality of a woman in whom a man falls in love with. Why is that? Because a man understands with age beauty goes away, but with time your personality will always be there with you. That's a secret a man never shares with another woman,
Mhm.
which is why we often hear in a divorce a man tell a woman, "You're not the woman I married." In my novel, I try to show that appearance doesn't mean everything. Your personality is the uh, way to age. Anjali is the kind of woman all men wish for, a devoted woman and a supportive partner. That is hard to find in today's time.
John Locke's behavior becomes increasingly erratic and violent. How does Anjali deal with it?
Anjali is highly educated girl, a woman who has a career, but she gave her life to one man she cared about. She understood that although her career is important, she is also a wife, and her goal is to serve her husband, or your husband. She understands that man passed through numerous phases of life, challenging career, successful leadership, mental health, disability, accountability, responsibility, stress, and motivation to succeed. Those help only come from a woman. That's the reason she was with him. She when he doesn't even understand or acknowledge um, her due to his memory loss.
Golam, what was the inspiration for writing A Dangerous Mind?
My inspiration behind writing this book or novel is to help the next generation understand the meaning of life, marriage, and aging. I understand that even though we are in a best part of life or wealth as far as life, love, marriage, and relationships are concerned, people have become selfish.
Mm.
We are more likely to enter somebody's life just to use them in one form or another. And often our financial status is on the line. This is not the point of marriage. Life is about age and passing on the torch to the next generation.
Absolutely, I agree with you. Congratulations, you are an award-winning author for A Dangerous Mind with APS and their book awards. Who are APS?
APS stands for Author Promotion Success. we are talking about a group of people working in California. Every year, they send application to authors who write a book or novel. They receive hundreds of applications for the competition. This year, I put in my book. They gave awards to inspirational writing, fiction, non-fiction, thriller, poem, best lyrics writing, best singer, best novel, films, etc. This year, my book has been chosen for 2022 Best Fiction Story. My book has been selected as the winner of International Author, and I won first place. I also had a Zoom interview for my award.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's really good. For an author with dyslexia, it's certainly an accolade. I bet you must have been thrilled when you found out.
Absolutely.
I can
Um,
imagine.
yeah. Um, what's it called? Yeah, dyslexia is a very, very difficult thing for me. Um, Spelling, like basic things like spelling, grammar, punctuation,
Mm,
editing, and things like that. All these are challenging for me. Even reading, basic reading is
mm,
challenging for me. And you can understand when it comes to editing, reading is a must.
of course.
Um, so everything is a challenging, everyday life is a challenging for me. But I absolutely love writing. I absolutely have so much knowledge in me that I like to share it with people. So one day the generation will open the book and say, I've experienced that. And I understand what previous generation went through and today's generation went through. And that's my goal over here.
Let's talk a little bit about you now, Golam. You were born in Bangladesh and came to the UK when you were 6 years old. Do you have any early childhood memories of Bangladesh?
The childhood experience was amazing. Whatever I am today is thanks to my parents, their values and their culture. Although we were raised in England, but my parents never let us forget where we grew up and where we were born. It was our heritage. As a result, I can speak Bengali, English, Urdu, Hindi. It was important to learn more about the culture in order to not discriminate against others. We therefore invite people into our lives and learn more from them. One thing, one thing my mother said: each culture has its own teaching or knowledge that we can learn from.
Absolutely. It must have been a bit of a shock to the system, though, for your parents coming from one culture to a completely different culture here in the UK, not to mention the weather, of course.
Yes, the culture has changed a lot since then. As a citizen of the country, they no longer recognize us, which is sad
Mm.
because it's my parents and grandparents' backbone which helps to grow the country. I will write a novel based on that. It's it is inspired by true story.
Have you been back to Bangladesh?
No, I haven't been to Bangladesh, but hopefully, someday I will be. But at the moment, no.
I said before you have dyslexia, which makes it difficult for you to write, spell, and use grammar correctly on pen and paper. But writing is your passion, so you never abandoned it. And that's determination and a willingness not to give up. What advice, Go, would you have for anyone dealing with dyslexia that worries and hesitates about writing a book?
Always believe in your dream. It may be hard, but it's a journey which makes remarkable story.
Mm.
One of the things I would say to all people, life is full of challenges, and if you don't follow that challenges, then you won't succeed, and that succeed makes a remarkable story. So when he says that I want to be a rich person doesn't become a rich person. He has to work for that journey. When he becomes rack to riches, that's where his story becomes inspiring, and that is our challenge in here when it comes to writing.
Back to a Dangerous Mind, Consciousness Belongs to God. You're receiving some great reviews for Dangerous Mind, including Absolute Gem, absolutely amazing writing, and must-read book and talented writer. Golam, are you motivated to write by the reviews or sales, and why?
Um, actually, long as people are willing to read, people are willing to inspire them, people are willing to um, read, long as they're reading, or long as they are appreciating or learning from life, I'm willing to continue writing, because my job is to give inspiration to others.
Oh, I love that. I absolutely love that. Lastly, where can Book Talk podcast listeners purchase A Dangerous Mind?
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Golam. Good luck for the future. And thank you, everyone, for listening to Book Talk Radio Podcast. Lovely to speak to you, Golam. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Nice to meet you again.
Bye now.
Bye.